Yes. You have to sign up for tickets. There's such a right point and
Yeah.
is the same price that would be. And I have like friends in like Liverpool, so I was like,
Are you gonna give us a Liverpool?
That's Jeremy. I like,
Oh,
like, yeah, I can drink legally though. And I don't have to worry about it. That's a
My favorite thing is my husband. Hey, there's shipping for
I'm like,
Too good.
$20 ticket, like,
Well, I knew I was
and
gonna
then it's the cheap club, and I'm like,
I don't have the confidence.
I love it. And it was so weird, I was so close to the stage, like, it's like the monitors, So I go,
That's just so like.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
hi, Zoe.
It's like really misogynistic. I'm like, I don't know, like, I saw something, I was like,
That's what I want to hear. Right there. I sent my dad and mom when I was like 7 to every one, and then I got home the next day and I was like, oh, how do I do it? So I was like,
In
oh.
front of the barricade.
I got to see this right
And
now.
she was so she'll just like walk in.
But I posted on my story, so I like the
I stood at the side, she was like, they like waved at one point. I was like, that's no way.
This is when I realized she was behind me.
What?
Because he like looks up and I texted him, goes, I'm sorry. I was like, oh, so I turned around and I was out.
Yeah.
What's her name?
And my dad used to be like the but like my mom started thinking like like welcome to my
No one's
chat.
coming. Sorry.
I'm like, and she like does
Actually, it's not every Like if they just talk to me during my concert, I'll be like, like asking them stuff. And like, I would be like, thank you. I was sorry, I was looking at a random, I was like, maybe like so here or something, and like how he doesn't like diet coke and blah, blah, blah. And then he knows really good. I always have to. I have my own, but I always like smell it. And it's but like the friends that was just
Every time you say take open space and like the big way to the eye. Other things is open space.
How is Lola so self-aware? And she's so self-aware.
It's weird if we're sitting in the audience.
Yeah, I walked in, I was like, we had Graceland too, before they were all like, do that together.
What? They're just giving, they seem to be giving people masks to the audience. Oh yeah, well, it was weird because I thought about this later, but they like the same thing that we did with that like right, no, but we did the same thing that we did. We had people Saturday and masks that they want. People wear masks, and everyone would have to wear masks. So we don't have to wear masks, but it feels like it's so much like a lot of masks. If the audience could get a mask, the way they're this whole thing. Like I would be crazy if that performer wore a mask. That's a good
I did have a break.
Especially it never had breakdowns. It's never been great, but now that it's like spectacularly enough.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome to the second installment. Welcome to the second installment. Finding my life. Welcome to the second installment of the First Up Reading series presented by the Sarah Lawrence Theater Department. This series is where we feature new work, never before experienced in any way except for those who've read it on the page, and give the playwright and director an opportunity to explore the text a little bit further, learn some things, get excited by some things, become disappointed by some things, get excited by things again. It's a really great opportunity for writers. As such, you are a part of the community of writers today. Thank you for being here with us. Before we get started, I do want to acknowledge that the Sarah Lawrence Theater community lives, works, and learns on the unceded land of the Lenape, Wappinger, unseen people. We're going to pay respect to their ancestors, past, present, and future. All right. So this evening we present "Are There Penguins in Space" by Rachel Saruski. The runtime for the show is a little over 90 minutes, as we expected. Adrenaline, I don't know. I think it always peps things up a little bit. After our showing tonight, we're going to take a quick 5, and then we're going to have a little conversation where we're going to hear from Rachel, hear from Leo. We have some great discussion questions that were prepared by faculty member, playwright, and theater maker Lisa Claire that I will be introducing in the space. You'll have an opportunity to share your questions, thoughts, conversationally. The performance will be here. It's going to be a gab. Please stick around. It should be a lot of fun. We do have some content warnings for this evening's show, and there is a lot of stuff that's, I know the play because I was in Rachel's class. I was the first person to see it. I have my autograph. There are some great, beautiful moments of levity and humor and a lot of other things that are associated with joy, but there's some tough stuff in the text. And I just want to make sure that everyone's ready for that. So the warnings include domestic violence, kidnapping, allusions to heroin use, and frequent depictions of struggles with addiction. To that end, we've left the door open this evening, the front door. So if anyone does need to just get out, it's also incredibly hot in here. So if anyone is overcome with fever and feeling like it's all a little bit much, go ahead and step outside for a few minutes, get some fresh air, and see Megan. And Megan will bring you back in a way that's not going to be disruptive to your performance. In the event of an emergency, that door will also be useful to you, as with this door here. And there's also an exit back behind this room here. So whichever one seems like the one that strikes your fancy in the event of an emergency, you can just follow the signs, and that will get you out of space. Okay, without further ado, for the first time ever, "Are There Penguins in Space" by Rachel Saruski.
Scene 1. Lights up, Lola and Jaime are asleep in a small, dark bedroom. Jaime, 17, is dressed in a ratty, oversized t-shirt with her hair in a bun. Lola, 6, is wearing an Elmo PJ set. They are lying on a bed that is clearly too small for them both. It is morning. As time goes by, we slowly see the sun coming through cracks in the window shades. Lola awakens and sits up. She stares at Jaime, sees that she is sleeping, and clenches her eyes closed in an attempt to fall back asleep. After a while, Lola opens her eyes again and looks over at Jamie once more.
Jamie.
Lola pokes Jamie's arm repeatedly. Jamie groans and throws the covers over her head.
Jamie.
Lola throws the covers off of her and climbs on top of Jamie.
Jamie, I have a very important question.
I'm sleeping.
And it's like a very important question. Life or death.
What?
Do you think penguins can fly?
Jamie props herself up against her pillow to look at Lola. She sighs and rubs the sleep out of her eyes.
That's your question?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you ask.
It's for science.
For science.
Yeah. I'm doing a presentation on penguins.
Lola pulls out a beat-up stuffed animal penguin from under the covers.
So it's for show and tell.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think they can. Maybe only in space they can all fly there. The penguins sure can swim. And they slide on their bellies down icebergs. It's pretty cool.
Do you think I can do that?
Maybe if you practice hard enough.
Cool. Are you sure that's all there is to watch? I think so.
Are you sure? Because you think one's gonna swoop down and snatch you?
Jamie picks Lola up from the bed and begins to tickle her. Lola squirms in Jamie's arms. They both break into a fit of laughter.
Come on, let's get you ready for school.
Jamie reaches towards her bedstand and turns on a lamp. On the wall opposite the bed, there is a desk with a mirror on it. There is a clutter of makeup and books on the desk, and there are heaps of clothes, her computer, a guitar, and children's toys around the room. At the foot of the bed is a small dresser, and there is a closet next to the desk.
I don't want to go. Why can't I just stay home with you all day? We can play games. Like Monster Attack.
Lola begins to act like a monster, growling and all. She stands on the bed and tramples all over the mattress. They laugh.
Well, I have to go to school too, but we can definitely play tonight.
Okay. Let's go.
Lola rolls out of bed and falls on the floor. She immediately jumps up and stands with her arms out.
Dress me, please.
Jamie climbs out of bed and opens the dresser. She digs around for a bit before finding an outfit for Lola. She undresses Lola carefully and places her pajamas on the floor. Jamie begins to dress Lola, who rambles on as this occurs.
Hopefully today will finger paint. The last time we did artsy crafts, it was Thanksgiving, and I made mommy a hand turkey with construction paper, and she threw it in the garbage. But then she said it was an accident, so I said that's okay. Maybe this time I'll make her her very own penguin, so she can hang it on the fridge. I think I'll name him Pat. Or if it's a girl, I'll name her Patricia. I haven't decided on the gender yet. Maybe it'll decide for itself. What do you think, Jamie?
Jamie finishes dressing Lola and faces her.
I think it's time to brush your teeth.
Last for the bathroom's rotten egg.
Okay, I'll be right there.
Lola runs off stage. Jamie goes into her dresser and pulls out a pair of jeans. She takes off her pajama pants and slips them on. She walks over to the mirror, takes her hair out of the bun and shakes her hair out with her hands. She slips on a pair of boots and looks at herself in the mirror again and glances at a picture frame on her desk. Lola and a man are pictured together with a woman. Jamie is not in the photo. She takes it off the desk and stares at it for a while.
Jamie, hello! If I don't get to school on time, would be the penguin's gonna get angry at you.
Startled by Lola, Jamie drops the picture frame and it shatters all over the floor. Pissed off, she goes to pick it up and she gets pinched by a sharp glass. She grimaces.
That's a bad word. Bad words are not allowed in this house, Missy. That was my impression of mommy. Come on, Jamie.
Quickly, Jamie pushes the mess under her desk. She looks at herself in the mirror one more time and sighs before grabbing her backpack.
I'm coming.
She turns off the lamp and walks out of the room. The scene shifts, and we now see a small, stuffy living room. The room is painted a bland beige color, and it is mostly bare, besides a beat-up couch in the center of the room, a coffee table, a rug, and a television. There's a dingy kitchen in the back of the room. On the coffee table sits a picture of Lola and Jamie, a TV remote, a sippy cup, a dirty napkin, and a pair of keys. The front door of the house is shown on the wall on stage left. Lola runs in and throws herself on the couch. She sits there for a second, muttering to herself and giggling before she notices an unknown man walk into the front door. He sees Lola and immediately freezes. He paces around the room and thinks for a second, and Lola intently watches him. He eventually crouches down to Lola's level.
You don't know me, but I'm a family friend.
Family. Stranger danger, stranger
The
danger!
man pulls Lola into him and covers her mouth.
Shh. We're gonna play a game, okay? But it'll only work if you're quiet.
Lola nods her head. He lifts his hands slowly off of her mouth.
Good. So, I have an Elmo toy with me and...
Lola opens her mouth to yell in excitement. He puts a finger to his mouth to shush her.
But you can only get it if you do everything I say.
What kind of game is it? Oh, is it like Hungry Hippos?
Actually, it's more like Simon Says.
Oh, I love Simon Says. Can Jamie play too?
Actually, it's a secret game that only you and I are allowed to play.
I've never been part of a secret game before.
It's really fun. But listen closely. As soon as the game isn't secret anymore, the game is over. All right?
Okay. But can I be a penguin?
What?
Every time Jamie and I play a game, I'm a penguin and she's a shark.
Jesus. Sure, okay. Why not? Yes. You can be a penguin.
Yay! Oh! Yay!
Good. Here's what we're going to do. When I say Simon Says, you're going to do what I say. All right? Okay. Simon Says, put your hands on your head.
Lola puts her hands on her head.
Now, spin in a circle.
Lola doesn't move.
Why didn't you do what I said?
You didn't see Simon Says.
Simon Says, spin in a circle.
Lola starts spinning in a circle. She giggles.
Lola, it's time to go. Turn off the TV and grab your stuff.
Lola instantly freezes and looks off stage.
Quick, run out the door. Let's go get that Elmo toy I was talking about.
You didn't say Simon Says.
I said get outside now.
Lola begins to cry.
But Jamie, I can't.
Lola, what are you doing?
Fuck it.
The man swoops up Lola, who is kicking and screaming, into his arms, covers her mouth as he runs out the door and slams it closed. As soon as the door slams, Jamie runs into the room.
Lola? Lola! Lola!
She looks frantically around the room like yelling her name, not seeing her anywhere. She panics.
Oh my god. Lola!
Jamie grabs a pair of keys from the coffee table and runs out the door. The door is left ajar and the room is empty. Blackout. Scene 2. Oh boy. Who is she talking to?
Lola was a character in a book Mom used to read me as a kid. It's called I Love You So Much by Carl Morat. It was a story about a bunch of little hamsters, and one of them was named Lola. Lola had words at the tip of her tongue that she needed to share, but she couldn't tell just anyone because they were special. Some hamsters didn't let her say them, or she didn't want to tell that specific hamster if something happened. And this happened so many times that she began to sulk. Eventually the words just exploded out of her mouth, which was, Mommy, Daddy, I love you, I love you, I love you so much. Yeah, well, maybe if Mama truly loved us so much, she wouldn't have thought to leave. Maybe she used the name Lola because the hamster was a hard ass. You know, I mean, she definitely was stubborn. It was a children's book that just had to end with her saying how much she loved her parents. But it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if she had told her special words to the wrong hamster. I think a part of growing up is when you say the wrong words to the wrong person and the consequences that follow that. It's uncomfortable, and it's awkward, and it's messy. Now, I'm sure this was not Carl Morat's intention to write a book with these themes, and honestly, I don't know if I would have wanted to read a book with these themes at that age, but I'm sure there are children's authors that do that with grace, right? I mean, I guess I could do that if I tried. Be a writer. Probably not. I like playing guitar. I sing occasionally. I don't know if that's much of a useful skill though, and I'm really not very good at it, so. I like kids. Ones like Lola. Maybe in some other world I'd like children of my own someday, but I'm afraid my genetics might not be best for child parent. I know that's something I don't really have to think about right now, but it pops into my head every once in a while. I spun way off track. So back to Lola the hamster. I really do wonder what the book would have been like if she had said the wrong words to the wrong person. People do that all the time. But let's be real, it probably would have ended in a happy ending. Not every story's happy ending.
Scene 3. Jamie runs into a colorfully decorated kindergarten classroom. There are posters and children's artwork plastered all across the walls. Across the room are a few circular tables, each a different primary color. A middle-aged kindergarten teacher thinks the tables and looks up.
Oh. Hi, Jamie. It's a bit early to be
Have
dropping
you
off.
seen Lola?
What? She be here?
Oh, we were just playing a small game of hide and seek before school started. You know, she's gotten real good at hiding.
Oh. Well, I'm sure she's here somewhere. I, for one, know from personal experience how good at hiding kids can be.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask. I haven't seen your mom around in a while. How's she doing?
She's good. Yeah, she's really good. She's got a promotion at work, that's why I haven't been seeing her very often. So, you know, I'm helping with pickup and drop offs. All good.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. Well, we're having open house soon. I would love it if she could stop by. Lola's been doing some very good work.
Kindergarten teacher takes a flyer from one of the tables behind her and hands it to Jamie. Jamie quickly analyzes the paper.
Yes, that would be great. I'm sure she would love to stop by. Anyways, I should really go.
Oh, yes, go find Lola. Just so you know, her favorite spot to hide is the cubby hole underneath the slide on the playground.
Oh, yeah. Got it. Thanks.
Jamie rushes out of the room, crumpling the flyer in her hand as she walks out. The kindergarten teacher definitely notices. Scene 4. The kindergarten teacher is employed. She doesn't ask any questions. She's seen it all.
I think my favorite thing to teach is the life cycle. Every year, I get these caterpillars shipped in these itty bitty boxes from somewhere in, I don't know, Texas. And I take them out of the box. Each one of them is so tiny. They're like no bigger than my fingernail. All the kids gather around the container like little ants scrambling for food. It's the cutest thing. The caterpillars eat these weird brown morsels that come in the container. Whenever it's snack time or lunch time, kids will have me bring the containers to their table so they can have a meal with the caterpillars. So they don't feel lonely. So they can grow big and strong, they tell me. I don't think I've ever met more considerate human beings in my life. I wish all people were like the kids in my class sometimes. Eventually, all the caterpillars climb to the top of the container, which is made of some kind of cheese ball, and they just hang upside down, very still. At first, the kids tell me they're just taking a nap, that they'll come back down. But then, this clear coating begins to grow around their bodies, and the kids tell me that they're trapped in glue, and I have to save them now, and they yell at me. This is when I get to explain that the caterpillars have simply made a chrysalis, and that they're in metamorphosis, which none of them can pronounce. I say it's like a long sleep, that you need rest to be able to grow big and strong as they will. So I take out the claw and hang it on top of a netted polyester cage for about a week and a half. And the kids will visit the chrysalide quite literally every hour. Just checking to see if they came out yet, miss. Trust me, I would know. You would all start screeching. Anyway, what astounds me about the caterpillars is that with slightest move of the cage, they fall off the cheese cloth and fall onto the floor. Sometimes they can be saved. Most of the time they can't. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've had to host a few butterfly funerals in my career. They're not always pretty, but they teach the kids a lot about life. But you know what? The chrysalises hardly ever fall. I'm always astounded by the strength of these 12-day-old creatures and how they hold on with dear life to this little string. It's usually when I'm not paying attention that the first butterfly hatches. The student will just walk by the cage on their way back to the bathroom and yell, Miss, look, the butterflies are coming out to say hello. And then 20 little pairs of feet will shuffle over to the corner of the room in front of the window and sit there until every single butterfly has come out. Forget the Grand Canyon, Niagara Falls, the Northern Lights, or the 7 wonders of the world. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Just all the children, simply astounded by the start of life. Their eyes wide, just full of wonder. The butterflies, they just hang around at first to get used to the new air and the smell of life. When they begin to flutter around towards the top of the netting, the kids jump and giggle. It's just so exciting. I keep the butterflies in the cage for about a day before I take them out. I let the kids sit in this happiness. There's always one kid that pays attention to them a little bit more than the others. Sometimes I wonder what could possibly be going on in their lives. And for God's sake, I hope it's good. Because that's really all any child deserves. And just in case it's not, I want them to be able to come to my classroom, get just a bit of enjoyment out of the day. But eventually, we have to let them go. It's emotional. We gather in front of the playground, and if the kids feel so tempted, they say a few parting words. It's not poetry, but it always makes me tear up a bit. They cry when we open the net to let the butterflies go. They divide around. It's beautiful. And after that, anytime we see another butterfly, they swear it's one of the ones that were in our classroom. I see my kids as little butterflies. I can only have them for so long before they have to fly away. But it's okay, because for the time I do have them, priceless.
Scene 5, the living room, late at night. Things are slightly askew. It looks as if someone had dinner there and never cleaned up. The television is still on, but nobody is there. After a few moments, there is a single knock at the door. Then another one. Nobody answers. The knocks get progressively quicker and louder. Then we hear a voice.
Jamie, come get the door. I'm here. I'm home.
Repeat. Still, no one comes to the door. Anne begins to yell and gets progressively louder. She is not sober.
Jamie, hello. I need you. Jamie, please, let me in.
The yelling and knocking continue.
Mom, is that you?
Yes, Jamie, you're here. Thank God, let me in.
Jamie runs to the door and immediately unlocks it. As soon as she opens the door, Anne appears and collapses to the floor. She wears ripped jeans and a tank top. Her body is full of scratches, and the bends of her arm, each covered in ugly purple and yellowing bruises. There is also an open bleeding gash near one of her cheekbones. Anne can barely keep her eyes open.
Mom? Are you okay? What happened?
Just had a bit too much fun this time. Needed to get home.
No, Mom, you're hurt. Fit this to me.
It's fine. I just need to get to bed. Will you help me?
We need to treat this wound first.
Jamie strokes Anne's face and winces.
You're hurting me! Sorry. Can you get up? Let's get you to the couch.
Anne holds on to Jamie's arms and attempts to stand up, but her knees buckle and she ends up back on the ground again. Anne groans. Jamie looks around panicked, then putting her arms around Anne's neck and under her legs, Jamie picks Anne's entire body up in her arms.
Thank you, sweetie.
Jamie begins to carry Anne to the couch. Just as she's about to drop Anne's body onto the cushion, Lola walks into the living room in her Elmo pages, holding her penguin toy.
Mommy, are you okay?
Lola, Mommy's just not feeling well right now.
Lola, did you do your homework?
Mom, you don't have to worry about that right now.
Yes, I did, Mommy. It was about the letter L, like my name.
That's great, Lola. I'm so proud of you.
Take it easy, Mom. I'm gonna go get a first aid kit in my backpack.
Jamie exits to bed.
Here, Mommy, you could have Whoopi to make you feel better. He has magic for space.
Space.
Lola looks confused and worried. Jamie rushes back into the room with her backpack and places it in front of the couch. She takes out a small red pouch in the front pocket, and from there she takes out an alcohol wipe, Neosporin, and some bandages.
Okay, Mom, this is gonna hurt a little.
What are you doing?
Jamie applies alcohol wipe to Anne's face and shoots up from the couch immediately and sits up.
Shit!
Lola starts crying.
Lola, Mommy's gonna be fine. Why don't you just go to your room away from me?
Anne starts coughing again, then she begins to gag.
No, I'm not leaving until Mommy's better.
Lola runs to Anne and tightly hugs her. Suddenly, Anne throws up all over Lola's chest.
Ew, Mommy!
Sorry.
Jamie runs to the kitchen, gets a roll of paper towels. Then she comes back to Lola and begins to wipe the vomit off her chest as best she can.
What's wrong with Mommy?
I'm insane.
Stay?
No, she just doesn't feel well right now. Let's get you in the bath. Mom, please stay here and please don't go anywhere.
Fine, Jamie. Fine.
Jamie picks Lola up in her arms and disappears with her through another doorway on the stage right. Then Anne sits up and looks towards the doorway to make sure they've left. She lays back down and reaches towards Jamie's backpack and rummages through it for a bit before she pulls something out. Jamie's wallet. She opens it up and smiles, pulling out a few $20 bills, shoving them in her pocket.
Lola, stand under the water for a bit. I'm just gonna go check on Mom.
Anne rushedly closes the wallet, shoves it back into the backpack, and zips it closed. She throws herself back into a lying position, pretending to be asleep. Jamie emerges from the doorway with a sweater. Jamie takes Anne's shirt off her body and places the sweater on her body instead. Anne smiles at him. Jamie then picks up the first aid supplies again and places Neosporin on Anne's cheek gash, and places a few bandages over it. Jamie then grabs a blanket from somewhere on the floor and places it across Anne. Jamie tucks her in and plants a kiss on Anne's forehead.
Lola, I'm coming back.
Jamie walks back to the bathroom and smiles. Scene 6. In the void again. Where are we?
When I was 12 and Lola was just a baby, my mom used to be really into cooking. Actually, I don't know if it's right to say she was into cooking, because she kind of just went through various phases of liking things for a few weeks before just dropping one and picking up something else. During this time, I would wake up before school, still in my half-dream-like state. I could smell the scent of pancakes browning on the grill, wafting through the air vents. So I'd roll out of bed and run to the kitchen in my pajamas. Mom wouldn't often notice I was even there. But she would have some Jack Johnson playing and her body would be swaying softly to the music, her lengthy brown hair thrown back into a claw clip, holding tiny Lola in one arm and a spatula in the other. When she wasn't actually cooking, she'd dip her pinky finger in the leftover batter and stick it into Lola's mouth so she could have just like the sensation of licking it off. Lola would smile after the taste and, you know, from having something new and sweet in her mouth, and Mom would smile too. Mom isn't exactly nimble on her feet, and one time she was trying to balance both Lola and the pancakes and she stumbled and almost dropped the pan. And Lola. But Lola thought this was fun. She laughed so hard. Then my mom laughed. And I blew my cover and I laughed a little too. And then there was just a symphony of laughter coming out of our tiny apartment. You know, after that we smelled the pancakes burning, and Mom quickly handed Lola to me as she served us slightly crisp pancakes on scratched glass plates. And we would have breakfast together. I was happy. We were happy. I don't think I could have been any happier than I was in that moment. Just, I don't know, just sitting together and eating together was such a gift. And then Mom was just this beautiful piece of art. And I looked up to her in everything she did. I don't remember the last time we all shared a meal together.
Scene 7. A bare apartment painted a dull gray. There are scratches in the paint and misshapen holes in the walls, with a brown pull-out couch in the middle of the room losing stuffing at the sides. There's also a mismatched armchair across the couch and a beat-up wooden kitchen table in the corner of the room, pushed up against a rusting sink. There are cabinets with no doors and their hinges exposed. The room looks like an unfinished collection of mismatched puzzle pieces more than anything. Lola sits in the pull-out couch playing with her new Elmo toy, while the man speaks on the phone.
Yeah, Anne, she's here. She's fine. No, don't come see her yet. I need time. She doesn't know me yet. Give her some time to get used to me. I don't want to shake things up so soon. Okay. Okay. Let's just talk about it later, okay? Later. Talk soon. Bye.
The man watches Lola play for a bit. Eventually, she turns to him.
I need to go to school now. I need to see Jamie.
Not now.
Why?
We have some things to talk about first.
Why?
Because they're important things.
Why?
Because I'm not playing this game.
But I love games.
Well, I don't.
Lola begins to cry.
Oh, shit. No, no, no.
The man tries to put his hand on Lola's arm to comfort her, but she turns away from him.
I want to go home.
I know. But I have something very important to tell you first. Top secret.
The super secret spy mission?
Yes. But you have to listen to me, okay? Okay. So you don't know me. But I know you.
Really?
Yeah. I met you a very long time ago.
I don't remember that.
That's because you were very little. You were a baby.
Baby? I was a baby a very long time ago.
Yep. So I thought it would be time to pay you a visit. I missed you.
How do you miss me if I don't know you?
But I know you, remember?
I'm confused.
It's okay. You'll get it eventually. Just think of me like an old friend.
Okay. You can be my friend. I'm Lola. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
I'm Jackson.
Jackson hesitantly shakes Lola's minuscule hand. Lola is satisfied.
Can I go back to Jamie now?
No.
She's my sister. I miss her. Can I go home? Your secret's safe with me and Jamie too.
Jamie can't know. It's just a secret between you and me. It's why you can't go home yet.
Jamie's really good at keeping secrets.
Jamie just can't know yet she's not as special as you are.
Really?
Of course, you're one of the most special people on earth.
How do you know that?
Trust me, I just do. Plus, there's a little piece of me in you. And what's more special than that?
What do you mean?
You'll understand soon. I promise. For now, let's
The
just.
front door of the apartment opens and they walks in. Both Jackson and Lola's heads immediately turn. Lola immediately jumps out of bed and runs to her.
Mommy!
Scene 8. Now Lola is in the corner. She gets in.
I like Elmo because Elmo can do anything he wants. If Elmo wants to dance, Elmo dances. If Elmo wants cake, Elmo eats cake. If Elmo wants to see Cookie Monster, he sees Cookie Monster. Oh, I also love Elmo because he's warm and fluffy and nice. Like me. Elmo also has a fish. I want a fish. But Jamie says we can't have a fish. She says we don't have enough space. But that's okay, because Jamie and I play anything we want. I'm usually a penguin, and Jamie's a shark. I like being a penguin because I can slide on my belly, and ice doesn't make me cold. Sharks and penguins usually aren't friends, but Jamie and I are special sharks and penguins. It's all with magic. Did you know that penguins are the only birds that can't fly? I think that's so weird. But they can swim, and that's better than flying to me. Oh, I love swimming. I like when Jamie takes me to the pool with the water slide, and I ride on my stomach like a penguin. But only when Jamie covers me so the lifeguard isn't looking. Jamie is my best friend. We do everything together. My favorite is when she makes me dino chicken nuggets, and we eat them in front of the TV. We watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and she makes the dinosaurs stomp in the ketchup before eating them. And then I copy her, and I make a mess. She doesn't get mad, though. She laughs and cleans up my mess. When I play with my food, Mommy gets mad. She yells at me and makes me clean it up myself. So I like when Jeannie gets mad.
Scene 9. The void continued.
If Mom and I saw each other again, I think it would go something like this.
Anne enters the stage unassumingly in her clothes from the previous scene. They stand as far as they can from each other, as far as the stage allows.
Hi, Mom. Hello. How are you? Good. Everything's good. All right. Are you gonna ask how I am? Oh, right. How are you? I'm okay. Just okay. What do you expect? Yeah. Great. How's school? The usual. Get good grades. Trying to be better or what? Good point. Oh, you working? Kind of have to. You should have gotten a job a long time ago. Oh, I'm sorry for believing my mom was gonna provide me. Where are you working? Cafe on 14th Street. And how do they treat you there? Why do you care? Answer the question. Not bad. Some people are assholes. I'm used to it. What do you mean? You? Hey, I don't even try. How much do you get paid? None of your business. Tell me. No. Jamie, fine. $15 an hour. It's good money. Yeah. How'd you swing that? I have a good work ethic. Hey, maybe you can get me a job there. Oh my god, I can't believe you're asking that. What? Just because I left you doesn't mean I don't need a way to support myself. Okay, number one, I'm not going to work with my mom. Number two, they're not going to hire an addict. They're not going to know. You're not a narc, are you, Jamie? I don't know if you'd be slick enough to hide it. No, I can hide it if I try. Tell that to your last boss and every single job you had before that. You can tell it to your 6-year-old daughter. You know, DCF could get an anonymous tip that 2 minors are living on their own. You wouldn't do that. Don't doubt me. Put your own children in foster care. You shouldn't be taking care of yourself. Maybe you should have been a better mother. I was the one who wanted to leave! I can't. I'm I wouldn't be able to do it.
Scene 10. Jamie is sitting on a park bench near the school. She's talking on the phone, clearly having a good time.
She was wearing a bright pink t-shirt, striped leggings, and white sneakers with pink light up soles. Actually, I don't even know if she was wearing shoes at the time. She's about 3 feet, 5 inches, 45 pounds, dark brown hair that goes about to her shoulders, and brown eyes. That's it. There's anything else you can do? Okay, yeah. You'll call me if you know anything. Yes, this number is perfect. Thank you.
The person on the other line hangs up. Jamie throws the phone down on the bench in frustration. She brings her knees up to her chest and hugs them, beginning to cry again. We watch her sit with her emotions for a bit. She puts her head in her hands and tries to get herself to calm down in a temporary self-made darkness. Suddenly, we hear the sound of stilettos striding across the concrete sidewalk in front of her. Jamie lifts her head out to see Anne crossing in front of her with no care in the world. Anne doesn't realize she's even there.
Mom?
Jamie, it's you.
Have you heard?
About what?
Lola?
What about Lola? She's missing. What do you mean she's missing?
Well, we woke up this morning and I got her dressed. And she ran to the kitchen ahead of me as I was getting dressed, and then all of a sudden I hear the voice of a man. And so I run to go check on her, but by the time I get there, the man is gone, and so is she. So I just look at that mom.
Because you're not a mom.
Well, it had to be because of you. I clothe her, I bathe her, I play with her, I work after school support her. She sleeps in my bed every night. And that's not even enough because now she's gone. Okay, I let her out of my sight for 1 second, and my baby sister is taken by some man I don't even know. I went to the school, I called hospitals and the police station, and all they say is that they'll look. And then they tell me to get some air because I'm being hysterical. I'm hysterical? Yeah, of course I'm hysterical because my sister is missing. Okay, she was taken by some man. How did he get in? What was he doing there? There's no sign of breaking and entering anywhere in the house, so he must have picked the lock. Or maybe he had a key. How would he have gotten a key?
Jamie, stop with the worrying.
Why are you worried? Your daughter's missing and you don't even care?
Don't put words in my mouth. I never said that I didn't care.
Yeah, well, you sure aren't acting like it.
You and we're not the same. We express our emotions in different ways. You're type A, I'm type B. We know this.
Yeah, well, extenuating circumstances should not make you believe otherwise.
Not me. I always stick to my type B behaviors.
So you're saying that you don't care that your daughter's missing? That's what you're saying?
I'm just not worried. That's all.
Anne takes one more look at Jamie. She looks measly, small, and then looks straight ahead and begins to walk away. Jamie watches her in the shoulder. Scene 11. Jamie and Lola's living room. Evening. Lola is drawing on the coffee table and Jamie is making pasta in the kitchen. They live in their own worlds for a bit before there's a knock on the door. Lola looks towards the door, but Jamie doesn't hear it. Then there's another one, and they both look. The knocks get progressively faster and louder. Jamie knows who it is.
Jamie, who's that?
Just a friend.
For a second. Oh, which friend? Can I say hi?
No, you don't know her.
Can I meet her then?
No, no.
You're being a meanie.
No, I'm not. It's just, it's adult stuff. Okay, I'll tell you later. Okay?
Jamie, what now?
Angry and pouty, Lola stomps to their room and closes the door. The knocking continues as Jamie walks to the door, takes a deep breath, and swings it open. Anne is leaning against the doorframe, clearly not sober once again.
Hey, I'm back.
Mom, you can't keep me home like this.
It's my house. I can come back however I want.
Think of Lola. Okay, think of me.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm the mother here.
Really? You haven't been acting like it lately.
I've been just going out and having fun.
And do you ever think about what happens after that? Okay, you go out, you shoot up using my money. How do you know about that? and then you come home and you traumatize your daughter.
You can handle it, you're a big girl.
I'm talking about Lola.
She's young, she won't remember it.
You vomited on her.
Shit happens.
Yeah, well, I don't think you understand what you do to her every time you're around.
What do you mean? All I've ever done is love her.
I know that's your intention. Okay, but that's not all you do. She doesn't know what drugs are yet. You want her to learn now?
I mean, she's gonna learn eventually.
And you want her to learn about it when her mother is high off her ass.
I do a good job of covering it up.
Well, I don't think you're listening to yourself.
You know, you're gaslighting me.
Well, how am I gaslit? Do you even know what that word means?
Well, I know it's bad and mean, so it might as well be what you're doing now.
I'm sorry, Mom, but you're a mess. What do you want me to do?
Just let me get into bed.
Mom, I can't let you do that.
Now listen to yourself. You're saying I can't get into my own
You're
home?
a threat to our family.
No, that's you! Keeping me from my own daughter! You're the bad one, you're evil!
I just want my mom back.
Clearly you don't.
I'm not bad. I'm not evil. I'm just trying to take care of my sister. Okay, before it's too late. Too late? Yeah, before she ends up like me. Have a good night, Mom.
Jamie begins to close the door.
Jamie, please, I'll be better, I promise. I just need sleep, food, some money, or just you. Please, Jamie, please, I have nowhere else to go.
Jamie thinks for a moment, then slams the door closed. She flips the light switch and the room goes dark. Scene shift. We see lamplights go out outside, a window in the kitchen. Eventually, Jamie comes out in her pajamas. She goes to the kitchen and gets herself a cup of water. She glances at the door. She thinks for a bit, then slowly walks to the door. Jamie opens the door hesitantly, and we see Anne sitting at the doorsteps, asleep against the doorway. Jamie sighs and picks Anne up by the armpits, grunting. She slides her through the doorway and drags her all the way to the couch. She searches for a blanket and finds one on the floor. She throws it over to Anne and stares at her for a while. Eventually, Jamie grabs her glass of water and walks back to her room, wiping away a few tears as she exits. Scene 12. Lola and the boy.
We don't celebrate Father's Day in our house. It's not because I don't have a dad. I do. He's just in space. Far, far away. That's what Jamie says. She says Mommy was in love with him. He had a very big space mission that was very important. He had to figure out if there were penguins in space. And I was only a baby, so I don't remember him, but he gave me this.
Lola pulls out Wilkie the penguin from behind her back. She holds its wing like she's holding someone's hand. The wing has no stopping left in it.
This is Wilkie. Say hi, Wilkie.
She flaps Wilkie's wings with her hands. It's a little sad.
I don't know when he'll come back. Jamie said not for a very, very long time. But I hope I get to meet him one day. I hope he remembers me. He will, because he's my dad. He's finding penguins in space! Do you think he'll bring me a souvenir?
Scene 13. Jamie is on a break from her shift at work at the cafe. She wears an apron which she unties as she leans against the cafe window. She sighs and puts her head in her hands. She sits in her self-made darkness for a moment before she takes her phone out of her pocket and checks it. She then violently shoves her phone back in her pocket. After a moment, Jackson walks in with a plastic bag. Jamie does a double take.
Jackson?
Jamie? Oh, how are you?
It's been so long.
Yeah. I'm here.
What brings you back?
What? I can't come back to my old stomping ground? Just came by for a visit.
I don't know if I believe you.
Why?
Does Mom know you're here?
No?
Good. She wouldn't like that.
Why do you think that?
Well, you left.
I don't think you're remembering this
Okay,
correctly.
don't tell me what I do and don't remember. And how could I forget?
You were very young.
I was 12, it wasn't that long ago.
That's not what I meant. What I mean is, maybe because everything was not what it seemed.
She kicked you out?
Yes,
Oh my god, I hated you for all this time.
she didn't want you to see her as the bad guy. I get it.
Okay, but that's not fair.
There was nothing I could do.
But you're Lola's father. I mean, you were the only father figure I ever knew. Why'd you agree to leave?
Do you really think I'd win in a custody battle against your
I
mother?
didn't choose your child, you didn't even want to try.
I didn't want to separate you and Lola.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I cared for you both so much. The last thing I wanted to do was mess anything up. So I did what she told me to. I left.
What happened?
I wasn't employed. I wasn't really helping out much around the house. I mean, I understood. Plus, I was an addict.
Well, you weren't much better than her in that sense. So.
We tried to help each other, but it didn't really work out then.
Wait, you said was. Are you sober?
Yep. 5 years and counting.
Oh wow, that's really great. I'm really proud of you.
Thanks. I'm sorry we put you through all of that when we were young.
Oh no, I should be thanking you. I mean, you made mom stop using when she was pregnant with Lola. I couldn't have done that by myself.
You didn't have to do that on your own. You weren't even a teenager yet. One thing I do remember about you, even from back then, was you always felt you had to be the one to take care of everything. You can ask people for help, you know?
Yeah.
But don't credit me for being a good influence. I clearly wasn't good enough. You started using again as soon as Lola was born,
I mean, you can only help someone so much.
I guess. So, what have you been up to?
Nothing, just taking care of Lola, work, school, the usual.
That doesn't sound like nothing,
It's life.
and I'm sure you handle it well.
I try. You know, your response is refreshing.
Really?
Yeah. Usually when I tell people that I take care of my sister, they apologize. They pity me. You know,
I didn't think that's what you wanted.
I mean, you were right, but you weren't surprised. Why not?
Because I knew Anne was an irresponsible parent, and I assumed much hasn't changed.
I mean, did you know she no longer lives with us?
Oh, shit. No, I didn't. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's still fine. Actually, no, it's actually not fine. Lola's actually missing. So
They both sit in silence for a few minutes.
No way. Are you kidding? How are you working right now?
and because I have to, and because I was told to stop haunting the police station like a ghost and just let them do their job. But I don't know. It's really hard. She's gone, and I don't know what to do.
Jaime, it was nice talking to you. But I'm sorry, I actually really have to go.
Oh, okay. Where are you living? Maybe I can come see you.
I was just picking up some medicine. I really have to run.
He shakes a plastic bag in his hand. He begins to walk away.
We can make plans soon. I just really have to go. I'll see you later, Jaime.
But I don't even have your.
Jackson exits the stage.
Something's not right here.
Jaime quickly walks off stage and exits the same direction that Jackson did. Scene 14. Jaime and Lola's living room. The room is 10 times more cluttered than before. There is not a single free space in the couch or the dining room table, as it's covered with toys, food wrappers, dirty clothing, and magazines. The kitchen counter has empty plastic TV dinner containers scattered across the top of it. along with the occasional piece of frozen, rotten food. Anne is behind the kitchen counter, flipping through a magazine. She has dark bags under her eyes. Jamie wearing an apron, and Lola walks through the door. They are undisturbed by the mess. Lola runs straight to Anne to give her a hug.
Hi, Mommy. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Mom.
Well, someone seems excited to see me.
Can we have dino nuggets for dinner, please? I'm so hungry.
Maybe Lola, we'll see.
Well, dino nuggets aren't the healthiest, and you did have them for lunch yesterday, remember?
I want them again.
Just let her eat what she wants.
Mommy, I miss you so very much. Where were you? I drew you 3 penguins, but they didn't leave them in your room because you were here.
Yeah, Mom, where were you?
Lola, how many times has Mommy told you not to go in her room? You know you're not supposed to do that.
I know, Mommy, but I needed to give you the penguins. I didn't see you for a very long time, and
Never, and I mean ever, go into Mommy's room again. Do you understand me?
Lola starts to cry. Anne is
I'm
unfazed.
sorry, Mommy. I was just trying to be nice.
Jamie runs to comfort Lola and gives her mom the evil eye.
You know, Lola, it's okay. You can draw me penguins next time instead.
But I always give you a penguin. I wanted to give penguins to Mommy.
Lola, go to your room.
Mom, she did nothing wrong.
Lola, I said go to your room. Now.
Mommy.
Mom, now!
The room goes silent. Lola then runs to a room and slams the door without saying a word. Jimmy stands up and looks Anne straight in the eye.
Fuck you.
Wow. No. Welcome home, Mom.
Yeah, well, it's not welcome when you do this every 2 weeks.
But I'm back, aren't I?
Yeah, and you're right back to emotionally abusing your child.
She's tough. She can handle
She's
it.
6.
I was tough at age 6.
Yeah, well, thank God not everyone's like you.
Where's your money?
How was your trip?
Well, I wouldn't really call it a trip. We didn't really go
Well,
anywhere.
I'll ask you again. How was your trip?
That's really none of your business.
It is when you leave your family alone without any way to contact you for days.
I had my phone on
It
me.
was dead.
I tried.
You say I tried when you try a math problem and you fail. You don't say I tried when you go MIA and your daughter can't reach you.
You know, you don't need to be tracking my whereabouts.
No, you're right. I shouldn't have to. You should be tracking my whereabouts. I'm the kid, not you.
Okay, so I'm the kid. What are you gonna do now? Punish me?
We need you, Mom.
Where's your money?
Lola needs a mom. I need a mom. I'm 17.
Yes, you're 17. Where's your money?
What if I don't give it to you?
Just start.
Yeah, like last time I gave you money and you left.
Stop being dramatic.
Jamie walks over to the fridge. She opens it. It's empty, aside from a few condiments. She does the same with the freezer, also empty.
How am I being dramatic?
Anne runs into the kitchen and slams Jamie into the fridge door.
Give me the fucking money you got at work today. I know you got paid. It's the second Friday of the month. You can't hide it from me.
Just want my mom back.
What?
You're an addict, Mom. You understand that, right? I don't even know you anymore. Where's the mom who used to make us pancakes before breakfast? Where's the mom who used to do arts and crafts with us or read us bedtime stories before bed and take us until our tummies hurt?
You're not 6 anymore.
But Lola is, and you're missing it.
I have a plan.
A plan?
Stop, you know.
A plan? What's the fucking plan? You said that dozens of times over the past 5 years. I haven't seen a single thing to change. You don't cook. You don't.
You're not even capable of doing that.
You live here for days on end. I find used needles in your garbage can around the house. You can't just do that. I mean, you have people to take care of.
You seem just fine on your own without me.
We're not. We're not. I go to school. I work at the cafe. I care for Lola. At the end of every single day, I go to the market across the street, and every single cashier knows my name and has the TV dinners I buy every night memorized. I mean, they even make sure that they have Lola's dino nuggets in stock. They care more for your own child than you do. You know, I have to use the money I make to buy sustenance, cleaning supplies, clothes, even the occasional toy, because now and then, how can I explain to a 6-year-old that I can't afford to buy her a doll because mommy's using the money to shoot up across town?
Or don't you dare say I don't care about my baby. Lola is my baby.
And what about me? Aren't I your baby?
You were once. Now you can fend for yourself, which is why I need the money.
Just because I can fend for myself doesn't mean I don't need my mom.
Jamie, for God's sakes, give me the money right now, or I swear I will leave and never come back ever again.
Jamie wipes the tears off her face, then her face apartments.
Okay, fine. Don't come back.
You serious?
Yeah.
It's my apartment.
It was actually Grandma's apartment. She left it to you when she died. There's no mortgage. We're fine here, as you said. And we don't need you.
Jane, think about what you're doing.
Well, I've thought about it. I know what I'm doing. I need this money for Jamie and me, and I don't want to give it to you. So you're leaving.
I'm leaving.
And goes around the house and picks up a jacket, a purse, and a few other belongings. Jamie watches intently.
All ready to go?
Guess I am. Good. Are you sure you want to do this?
Lola runs into the room with a used needle in one of her hands.
Mommy, what's this?
Lola, drop it!
Lola, put that on right now.
Lola, drop it!
Lola drops the needle, confused. Jamie runs to the kitchen and grabs a Clorox wipe. She picks up the needle and throws it in the trash. She then picks up Lola in her arms, brings her to the kitchen sink, and begins to scrub Lola's hands
Jamie,
vigorously.
that hurts.
We need to go now.
And looks around the room. She doesn't say a word. She picks up her things and hastily leaves out the front door. Scene 15. Later that night, Lola and Jamie's bedroom. Lola and Jamie are sitting on the unmade bed. Lola is crying. Jamie wipes the tears off her face and cradles Lola in her lap.
I want mommy.
I know, I do too.
Where did she go? How do you not know?
I don't know.
Lola has a full breakdown. Jamie doesn't know what else to do, but continues to cradle her. Then she has an idea. She looks under her bed and pulls out her guitar. She begins to sing "You Are My Sunshine."
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Jamie stops playing and Lola lets out a giggle. Jamie smiles. Scene 16. Jamie and the boy.
Believe it or not, there used to be a time when Mom and I talked about everything. And when we didn't talk, she told me everything. I mean, I think I'm the only consistent person that's ever existed in her life. Or I was. She never had anything. When she was kicked out of her house when she found out she was pregnant with me, her family was extremely Catholic, and her mom wasn't exactly in agreement with the decision, but her dad was an asshole, I guess. So she went to live with my dad for a bit. Harry was his name, I think. Mom never brought up his name enough for me to remember, but he was abusive, physically and emotionally. She didn't talk about that much either. So she went to a homeless shelter and stayed there for a bit. She jumped from shelter to shelter, but she found one that took in women and children in particular who had been abused, and she stayed there for a really long time. They gave her a baby shower. She gave birth to me at the hospital nearby. They gave her job coaching, got her a job, got her on her feet. The facility had really strict rules about drugs. Mom was really overwhelmed when I was born, obviously. Women at the shelter could only help her so much, and she told me at that moment, even though she was holding a tiny human in her hands, she had never felt normal. But then there was this woman who had just come into the shelter. Her name was Sarah, and my mom describes her as like just the sweetest person she's ever met. She was put as my mom's roommate. When she walked in, I was crying. The woman immediately took me from her without hesitation and began to rock me in her arms softly. And I immediately stopped crying. My mom was floored. So we became friends and helped each other out. One night, Sarah brought out her stash and offered some to my mom. Mom had never done anything but smoke a little weed before, and I guess she decided to do it anyways. And the rest was history. Eventually, they both got caught. My mom wandered the streets for a few weeks. She slept under bridges, got to shoot up without any judgment. Then she got a call from a lawyer. Her mom had died. A few weeks before, actually. Or, no, not died. She was murdered by her father. And no one would bother to tell her. Not one of her 7 siblings. The lawyer was calling to tell her that the little apartment her mom used to rent out to tourists had been left to her. My mom was, I don't know, she's always been lucky in some ways. Right when she needed it most, she just had a full apartment to herself. And me. And, well, it only went downhill from there.
Scene 17. Anne and Jamie sit in the living room. It is clean. Jamie plays her guitar softly. Jamie has her head on Anne's shoulder. Then Jamie begins to play a verse of Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
Took my love and I took it down. Climbed the mountain and I turned around. And I saw my reflection in snow-covered hills till the landslide brought it down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child in my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tide? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Well, I've been afraid of changing 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills,
Mom, you skipped.
the landslide bring it down. Oh, landslide bring it down.
They both laugh, and Jamie hugs Anne. Scene 18. Jamie and Lola are lying in bed in Jamie's room. It is nighttime. Jamie's arms are wrapped around Lola's, and as Jamie sleeps, Lola's eyes are open.
Jamie, I have a question.
I can wait until tomorrow I'm sleeping.
I'm just thinking. My thinking is very loud.
You mean your thoughts are very loud?
Yes.
Jamie sits up in bed and places Lola on her lap.
Okay, what's up?
Can we have a daddy?
I mean, technically, yes.
Well, where are they? A lot of people at school have daddies, but I don't. Why?
Okay, so here's the thing. Alright, you and I have different daddies.
Why?
Well, Mommy fell in love with a man a long time ago. And that's when they had me. And then they fell out of love.
Hello.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit weird, isn't it? It's kind of sad that people could fall out of love. Anyways, he left.
Where'd he go?
Well, I don't know. I never met him. Oh. Then Mommy was alone for a very long time. And then she fell in love with another man.
My dad.
Yes. And he was here for a while, and then Mommy got pregnant with you. And we're so excited to have a baby sister.
Now what happened?
What ends up happening with all the men in Mommy's life? Well, after you were born, you left.
Lola's face immediately drops. Jamie realizes she's been too harsh, but then we see Jamie's face change. She has an idea.
But this time was different. He didn't leave because he wanted to. He left because he had a mission.
A mission?
Yes, but not just any mission, a special mission. You see, he was an astronaut.
An astronaut?
I know, cool, right?
What was his mission?
His mission?
Jamie quickly looks around the room for ideas. She spots a stuffed animal penguin on the bed and picks it up.
He is trying to figure out if there are penguins
in space.
No way.
Yes way.
I didn't know there could be penguins in space.
Well, neither did anybody else until one day a picture was captured on a rover of a shadow, and the shadow looked almost exactly like a penguin. He knew that if there was possibly one, there had to be more. So, this penguin was named.
Jamie looks around the room for inspiration again. She sees a whoopee cake wrapper on the ground and leans over to pick it up.
Whoopee.
Lola picks up the stuffed animal penguin and squeezes it in her arms.
Oh, I love Whoopi. When's Daddy coming back?
Oh, I don't know. Trying to find penguins in space is a very hard job that can take a long time.
Oh.
That doesn't mean you won't come back. It just probably won't be for at least a little while.
Beach. Lola is silently playing with Whoopi the penguin. Jamie thinks for a bit, then she reaches for her guitar under their bed.
You know, your daddy's around the sun a lot. Because all the planets revolve around the sun. I don't know if you've learned that in school yet. And when he's near the sun, he thinks of you. And once he told me, he'll sing this song to the sun, just for you.
Jamie begins to play You Are My Sunshine.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Lola erupts into applause.
Again, for Daddy.
Jamie begins to play the intro again. Black Scene 19. And in the void.
I am a strong, independent woman. I love that phrase. I just think it's so funny. I mean, can you imagine looking in the mirror each day and telling yourself that? I mean, it's hilarious. You know, I had a therapist in rehab once who told me to do that every day. Hell, what if I don't want to be one? What if I want people to take care of me, or for someone to kiss my feet and be there for my every dire need for the rest of my life until I die a slow and painless death? You know, the thing about independence is that even in being self-sufficient, you have to care about other people. You have to use this so-called freedom as a life source for other humans. I think that's fucked. Why can't I keep it all to myself? You know, when I was younger, I never had a single thing to myself. I was one of 8 kids. We all pissed in the same pot and ate from the same moldy loaf of bread. We had it bad. And my kids complained, but they have it so good, they don't even know it. When I left Lola and Jamie, it was actually freedom. I was finally free to be who I wanted to be without anything or anyone pulling me back. I was nice once. A mother. I just don't think I was ever cut out to be one. But I got pregnant with Jamie at 17 and I thought, well, here I go. I wasn't ready. I mean, is anyone ever really ready to have a full, living, breathing human being coming out of their vagina? No. The answer is no. Jamie and I used to be best friends. We used to do everything together. Mostly because I had no choice, but it was fun for a little bit. And until she began to develop a mind of her own, then she got annoying. I thought it was a little phase that she was going through, but nope, still annoying. And then guess what? I had another one. I liked Jackson. He was nice. He made me nice. He kind of hypnotized me in that way, clearly because I'm not a nice person. I have my moments, but I am not a nice person. Lola's a lot like him. She's caring, independent, just a little bit selfish. I mean, I firmly believe that if she was ever left in the middle of a forest all by herself, she'd find her way home somehow. She's like me in that way. She doesn't need anyone. She may think she does now because she's 6, but just you wait. For now, she's still annoying, but tolerable. Either way, it's nice to only think about me for once. Yeah, I don't care where I sleep, where I get my food from, what I have to do to get it. I guess it's the mother in me. Oh, hey, I'm mothering myself. It's pretty fucking cool, isn't it? I mean, I guess in the world's general conventions, I am a strong, independent woman. Yeah, I don't live with my kids. The world wouldn't generally agree with that decision, but so what? They're fine. I mean, Jamie's got it. Let her deal with it. It's not my fault she's evil. What kind of a child bars their mother from going into their own house and from seeing their own child? I'm fine. I'm fine.
Scene 20. Jackson's apartment. Anne strokes Lola's hair on the couch.
I missed you, kid.
Why'd you leave, Mommy?
Your sister made me.
Jeannie would never do that.
Oh, but she did.
But why didn't you come back?
I had things to do.
Like what?
Adult things. You'll understand when you're older.
I missed you, Mommy. I want you home.
Jamie doesn't.
She does, and I want you, Mommy.
Lola starts to cry and doesn't know what to do other than to bring Lola into her chest and let her soak her tears with her shirt. They lay like this for a while. Eventually, Lola calms down and wipes the tears out of her eyes.
Did Jackson take me from Jeannie?
To protect you.
From what?
Jamie.
I love Jamie, Mommy.
What if I told you we were moving?
Moving? To where?
Somewhere far away, somewhere we can start over.
Why?
It'll be better that way.
With who?
Jackson, you like Jackson, right?
Yeah. What about Jamie?
Jamie's staying here.
Why?
She doesn't need us. She can take care of herself.
I don't miss her.
You'll see her again someday.
Where is she? I want her now. Where's Jamie?
Listen,
Lola starts to cry again and is getting frustrated.
listen to me, kid. Jamie has made my life a living hell. Thinking she's hot shit, thinking she can take you away from me. Well, the fuck she can't. So, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go away somewhere nice. Jackson has a trailer and a van, and we're gonna drive around the country, baby. You'll see everything. Mountains, the ocean, and we'll do it together. You'd like that, right?
Why with Jackson?
Well, Jackson is a special friend of Mommy's from a long time ago, and he has a trailer and the money, so it's perfect.
I don't want to go if Jamie doesn't go.
Can you stop with Jamie?
We hear a ring of keys jingle outside the apartment. Then Jackson comes to the door with the plastic bag he was holding earlier. He quickly slams the door shut.
What's wrong, baby?
I ran into her on the street.
Who?
Jamie.
Jamie! Jamie! Where's Jamie?
We need to go then, now. If she's seen you, it'll only be a bit before she figures out something's up.
And she was really scared. You can't leave her alone. Are you sure we can't bring her with us?
She'll ruin the whole plan.
She's just a kid.
She'll be fine.
She's your kid too, you know.
And I said I don't want her there.
Why are you scared of your own child?
Shut up!
The silence after Anne's scream is deafening. Then, suddenly, Jamie opens the door to the apartment. She looks from Lola to Jackson, and then to Anne. Her face hardens.
Shit.
Scene 21. Jackson, a young boy. He speaks like a man who thinks he's really intelligent, but actually is not. But he has good intentions.
was sitting at the bar, I think, about 2 months ago, having a beer, when I casually looked to my left, and I saw Anne sitting a few stools away from me. She looked beat, like she hadn't slept in days. She was also dirty. Not to be rude, but like really dirty. Either way, I couldn't stop staring at her because somehow she still had this glow I always saw in her. She looked beautiful. Stunning even. It had been 5 years since I'd last seen her. I observed her for a while. She didn't notice me for a bit. Despite her appearance, she was laughing, flirting with the men next to her, playfully patting them on the shoulder. She still had that same energy of power that radiated from her everywhere she went. A power that declared that everything she wanted in this world could be hers. There's this carefree attitude to her too, which I guess worked against her in the long run, but it's always been enticing to me. I stared at her long enough that she eventually noticed me. When we locked eyes, we just stared at each other for a good 20 seconds. It was the most alive I had felt in years. Then, like the force of nature that she is, she made everyone between her and me disappear. And suddenly, it was just us. We talked. We talked until the bar was empty and they kicked us out. And then we walked to the streets until 4 a.m. She told me everything about her life, struggling with addiction, about raising Jaime and Lola alone, how she didn't live with them anymore. She wasn't herself. I could tell. I told her about me, how I had sobered up, gotten a job upstate in construction, made a life for myself. Then came back down here because something about being alone didn't feel right. I didn't come back for her. Of course I didn't. I was born here. I have family here too. I didn't think she'd actually want to see me. But life made it happen instead. And I think there's something special about that. I don't think I ever truly stopped loving her. There have been other women, of course. But I mean, we had a freaking kid together. I got her to get on methadone while she was pregnant, so she would stop using when she was pregnant with Lola. I was part of that family for 3 years. Jaime felt like she was my own. Lola actually was. Anne and I weren't good for each other back then. But I'm a different man. I invited her back to my apartment. She slept for the first few days. Talked a lot about Jaime, how evil she was. It sounded nothing like the kid I had known. Who bars a mother from going into their own home, from seeing their own child? She also talked about how she wanted Lola back. I tried to get her back on her feet, talked to her about rehab programs, family therapy. She didn't want to hear any of my advice. At one point, she started talking about moving away, about if she moved away from her past, then maybe she would be able to get help. And I thought, well, this is a start. So we started talking about maybe going somewhere out west. Real estate is cheaper there, so we could get a small house. Then she started talking about bringing Lola along. And of course, I loved that idea. I missed not seeing my kid, you know? And the way she described Jaime made her sound so horrible and intolerable that it seemed like a good idea for Lola to just be away from her. So we made it a plan. I used some money I had saved up to buy us a trailer that we could attach to my van. I guess in a way I sort of kidnapped Lola. And it may sound really wrong, but is it really kidnapping if it's my kid? If it's to make a better life for her, for us? I felt like I had no choice. And it made it seem like Jaime wouldn't have let her go no matter who it was. For all I knew, It was life or death. Now, all we have to do is take off, and we'll be safe and happy. And that's all that matters to me at this point. I have a purpose now.
Scene 22. Jamie and Anne in Jackson's apartment alone. They sit in silence until Jamie speaks.
Why do you hate me? Teenagers are supposed to hate their moms, not the other way around. Why do you hate me? I wish I could hate you, but I don't. I get angry at you a lot, and I don't really hate you. Maybe I just wish I knew you better, that's all.
I think I'm jealous of you.
You're jealous of me?
You're everything I never was as a kid. You have your whole life ahead of you. I don't.
Yes, you do.
Don't call me mom. After all I've done to you, that's the last thing I deserve to be called.
Oh, so you're remorseful now?
Don't rub it in my face. I hate the way that I grew up.
Okay, but that's human.
Sometimes I don't feel human.
There's a long silence between the two of them.
Why didn't you tell Lola Jackson was her dad?
You didn't raise her. I did.
Well, because you didn't let her.
For a very good reason. He wouldn't have been a very good influence or a good parent for that matter at that time.
But he is now. He's got his act together. I mean, she's only 6. There's still plenty of time for him to be in her life now.
He wasn't there, so he's not her father, plain and simple. I don't want to talk about him anymore. I'm not ready to not be her only parent yet. She'll find out eventually.
I'm sorry I kicked you out.
It was my choice, really. I didn't have to leave.
But you did.
It kind of felt, I don't know, necessary after what happened.
Okay, it doesn't matter. I should have been kinder to you. What you have is a sickness. Okay, it's a disease.
And what, you're gonna cure it?
No, but you can get help.
And how many times have I tried to do that now, Jamie?
Okay, but that doesn't mean healing is impossible. Right? It's a long, hard process, but I'm sure you can do it.
Please just stop trying to tell me what to
Okay,
do.
that's not what I'm trying to do, Mom. I'm just trying to help.
Stop calling me that! And stop trying to help other people. Nobody wants it from you. You help too much. It's irritating.
Well, it would help Lola if it weren't for me. I don't know, sometimes I think helping is the only thing I know how to do right.
That's not true. You're good at so many things, it's annoying. You do good in school, you take care of your sister, you have a job at the same time. You sing, and you should probably do something with that voice. You'll probably do something good in the world one day.
I don't know what I would do with my life.
Really?
My life has always just been centered around Lola. I've never really thought about a life past her.
You can have a life beyond others. You have to take care of yourself.
Yeah, look who's talking.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying.
What are you trying to do exactly?
I don't know, save our relationship.
Why would you want to do that?
Because you are my birth giver.
But after everything I've done,
God, I'm so confused.
what?
Do you feel bad for what you've done or not? I mean, you hate me one moment, you feel bad for me the next. I don't understand you.
I don't know.
How do you not know?
I think I'm a bit confused about how I feel myself. I mean, after all, you're my child. I love you, but I'm not sure I actually like you. But I feel some remorse for everything I've done.
Okay. Well, it's good you feel bad.
Do you think I'm some kind of psychopath?
No, of course not. I just think you're a person that needs a lot of help.
You know, I don't even know why I'm having this conversation in the first place.
Because as much as we don't want to admit it, we both care about each other. Okay, that, and I don't think Jackson will let us leave until we at least talk to one another.
Silence is interrupted by Lola, Jackson's laughter. It continues. Lola looks to the other room.
You know, I'm surprised he's really good with her. Lola she actually really likes him.
During this moment, Anne has a realization. It slowly reveals itself across her face as silence goes on.
I'm not good for you. I'm not good for anything.
Hey, don't say that. You're working on being better.
I think I'm too far gone for that.
You're scaring me.
I need to go.
Anne gets up from the couch hastily and walks to a door at the end of the room. When she opens it, Jackson comes flying into the room. He was listening into the conversation from the other side of the door.
What's up?
I'm leaving.
What? Why?
I don't belong here. I'm not good for you. I need to get far away from here.
I know, baby. We've discussed that. That's why we're leaving.
No, I don't want to leave with you. I don't want to leave with any of you.
But what about our plan? Us.
Jackson, you're great. You really are. And thank you for taking me in. You helped me so much, but we will never get back to what we had. And I don't even know if that's what I want right now. I think I need to do this next chapter of my life alone.
And what?
Next chapter of your life.
I think I need to go somewhere and start over by myself because clearly I've already fucked up everything I have here.
Which can be fixed.
I need people to stop trying to fix me! I need to do it by myself.
Anne picks up a duffel bag next to the front door and starts to pick up things from around the apartment and puts them into the bag as Jackson and Jamie try to talk her down.
And think about what you're doing.
I've thought about it.
No, Mom, that's the thing you're not thinking.
Stop trying to convince me. My mind has already been made up.
But you need people around you to help you.
I've made it this far without it. So who says I can't continue to do so?
But you haven't really.
She picks up a pair of keys from the kitchen table.
You're taking the trailer.
Mom, no.
And
Stop!
Anne walks out the door and attempts to slam it, but Jamie and Jackson hold it open and run outside to follow her. Then the door slams. Then there's a heavy silence. Suddenly, Lola runs into the room from the same door at the other end of the room. We hear the sounds of Jamie and Jackson yelling, and the deep sound of a motor starting, with a large car driving away. Lola listening to the sounds intently the whole time while staring at the door. Only after the car sound is long gone does she speak.
Mommy?
Scene 23. The void. There is a short circular table center stage on which sits a butterfly cage made out of cloth and white netting. Butterflies flutter to and fro inside the container. There are multicolored paper letters on the cage that say Miss Sarah's class. From stage left walks in the kindergarten teacher, excitedly approaching the butterflies. She looks around to see if anyone else will approach the table, but no one appears. Eventually, she opens the top of the enclosure, and the butterflies fly out together. Some go straight into the sky, other exit stage right or left. It's a cacophony of color and joy that the kindergarten teacher observes it all with glee. She smiles as tears roll down her face. Wow. Scene 24. Anne drives the trailer. She's far away from anyone now. She's listening to the radio. She flips through a few stations until she comes across the middle. Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. She sings.
Well, I've been afraid of changing 'cause I built my life time makes you older, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Oh, take my love, take it down. Oh, I climb the mountain and I turn around. And if you see my reflection, the snow-covered hills, the landslide bring me down. And if you see my reflection, the snow-covered hills, the landslide bring me down. Oh, the landslide bring me down.
Scene 25. Jamie in the void.
You know what I've realized? There are many instances in life where you can simply do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, like, who's stopping me from screaming right now? I could yell right now and who would stop me? You know what? I think I will yell right now.
Jamie lets out a long, ear-splitting scream. Not in a bad way. This is actually really good. She enjoys this. It goes on for a while. She ends up on the floor, tears in her eyes. Then she sits up. She stays there.
I don't know what I want to do with my life yet. Maybe I can do something with music. I don't know. I don't know what I'll be doing this time next year or next month or tomorrow. I mean, for someone who has a lot on their plate, I should know what I'm doing, but I don't. I wish someone would do life for me sometimes. Like, live in my body, see through my eyes. Like, being a human is fucking exhausting sometimes. But I have help. You know, I have my people, even if there aren't very many. And that makes everything feel a little more okay sometimes. I'm not okay a lot of the time, but life has its good moments. God, this is really fucking cheesy. Feelings are hard. I sound like a preacher, and I'm going to end this now. Actually,
Jamie runs off stage. The first time, void is empty, silent. She then comes back on stage holding Lola's hand, who is humming You Are My Sunshine. Jackson follows. Jamie smiles, but Jackson is beaming.
ready?
Yeah.
Lola, I have something to tell you.
What?
So, Jackson's actually your daddy.
Really?
Yes. I'm sorry I wasn't there before, but I'm so excited to be here now.
Lola genuinely doesn't know what to say. She's floored with excitement. The whole world is in her eyes.
So, are there penguins in space?
End of clip.
Oh my God.
I didn't know you wrote this. Yeah. What? How do you feel? Like, I'm so excited. Yeah, I was so interested. It's like, I was just sitting there. We had a little moment that I were on song the song again. She did this land is your land. I didn't even like that, but we looked at each other. I didn't even hear. It's like, don't ruin this moment. It's just us for the song, but that's okay.
Music stands.
Yeah, let's do that conversation.
Alright, it's just us. That's
Well, we can have a discussion that's amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
There's one
Yeah.
one guy, two guys.
I never realized how long it was until y'all started reading it, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't went to the road time. Like 90 years. Questions now, Maria? No, I have no questions. I'm just here for a good time. Absurd. Yeah, besides the fact that I was extremely nervous the whole time, yeah, so that's just, it's fine, I'm like, I'm nervous. Every time I fucked up the stance, I was like, no, it's okay, I have your notes, I was like, you're still over there. No, I know, because it was in my script, I don't have the stand number, I said, I have that I take your stance, I'm like, okay, and then I was like, wait, I'm not supposed to. And so I was like, wait a minute, moved over, went to go finish the stand, so, yeah, it ended up being.
Hey.
We're back.
Can you say clearly, or should I scoot?
No, you're good.
I gotta be in a hot seat.
Oh.
Okay, we're back. Those of us joining us virtually, thank you for sticking around. We're gonna have a little discussion. The house has thinned out a little bit, but we have one stalwart member, who we expect to be participating very heavily. We have the wonderful cast, and we have our director, our playwright, and we have all of you. So those of you online, you're welcome to submit questions in the chat or the Q&A function. Questions, reactions, whatever may come to mind. And Megan is on the computer, is waving to me, which of course you would not be able to see online, but she's waving, she's great, she'll pass along your stuff. Before we get into these discussion questions, maybe we can just go through it and like check in and see like how that went for everybody. Can we start at the end? Just like what in like a couple words, like how was the experience? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it was really good. I really enjoyed
It was like really the first time I've ever done like a regional play, like as a performance. So it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, it's good.
I had a lot of fun. I mean, even like on a small scale, like it's not like you don't get to like originate a character very often. So like that's cool. I'm happy it's beautifully written.
No, I really liked, I was literally just telling my mom, I wish it went on for longer. Oh, because we're having so much fun, so it's been really fun, so I
It was super fun. I really love the play, and I love my character as well. So, and this is also my first time doing like a reading. So yeah.
It was really surreal for me. I was talking to people after the show, and I said it was the first time I ever cried doing my monologue. It just like hit me like a wall. And it felt super real, and it was really cool to originate the character.
Yeah, I mean, it was great for me. I got to this round I just kind of got to watch, and obviously Rachel and I have been working on this for a while, and with the cast we've been working on this very intensely, focusing on the minutia. It was really nice to just step back and see the whole piece again. Oh, this is a cool thing to watch. Kind of see it from a distance again.
Oh, okay.
See.
I was actually very, very nervous, and it has nothing to do with anybody else. It's just me and hearing my words out loud and like having people and like my friends and stuff behind me being like, oh, this is being perceived in front of people right now. Whoa. And that's just me. But everyone did an incredible job, and it was so cool to see it like fully realized that they could really go in the cast. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, everyone was like great energy and like very open and available and like really playing off of each other. It's like there's a great energy in the space. And my goodness, these voices, who knew?
Oh,
Speaking, singing, what a round of chords on y'all.
I didn't know anybody could sing. That was just a
Well,
magical
I
surprise.
think that was
like the association owners. Goodness, it was spectacular. Before we get into Lisa Claire's very thoughtful and wonderful discussion questions, I just wanted to ask you, Rachel, if there's anything that you learned tonight that maybe, or like a new piece of information that came out of like having humans here perceiving the thing and having the energy that was in the space that maybe you weren't getting from the person.
That's a very hard question. I feel like because I've watched the play so many
It's a
times.
valid answer.
Because I've watched the play so many times.
You want me to answer for you?
You can answer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's myself. You got the same question.
I really, I was always intrigued by the structure of Rachel's play, because it's not, there's kind of three separate timelines going on. You've got the kidnapping in the present, and the flashbacks to Anne, to another children relationship, Anne leaving, and then all of these voice scenes. And I was fascinated by it, but like this time, just kind of getting to watch the whole thing, I just really saw that structure of the play, and it followed this arc that is not intuitive when you're just reading it on the page. That I really liked. That really stood out to me this time.
I actually have an answer.
Yes.
I think I was really aware of Anne and Jamie's relationship and how complicated it is, which I already very much knew, but like having actors like do it and have you guys have like such great chemistry, I was really able to see like the ups and downs and the way that they view each other and how the way they view each other isn't always the reality of how the other person is. And I thought about this a lot with like the way that Jamie talks about her mother, like, oh, she's shooting up, which isn't like, the particular like way that it should be said, which I wrote it that way for a reason, but just the way that she regards her motherhood is very much a sickness, and she realizes this towards the end of the play. And then there's also Anne being like, oh, my daughter's evil, but is that really the reality? And so like that's something I noticed.
It's wild. See the thing, think you know the thing. It's out in front of the world. You learn things. Who knew? So I make this stuff. So Lisa Claire, who is a faculty member and is a playwright and theater maker in the New York area, read the text for Rachel and has some like spectacular discussion questions that we're going to use to kind of kick off the talk. I invite those of you in the house to also think of things that you'd like to ask the cast and the playwright and director. And we've got our folks in Zoom land. We're gonna start with this one from Lisa. Playing off of Leo's comment. Lisa says, I'm very intrigued by the void space that Rachel has set up. From Lisa's perspective, it serves as a kind of confessional inner space where characters can process their emotions and experiences free from outside influences. So Lisa's curious how this space might be embodied on the stage, maybe even beyond what we saw this evening. So Rachel, can you speak to more of this function of the void space and how you see it in functioning in storytelling? And then maybe as a bonus, also talking about like in a full production, what's the look, the feel, the sensation of the space?
Really funny. I actually got the idea from the boy from the SpongeBob episode. There was like an episode where like Squidward was just in like a white, like empty place where like nothing was there and everything simply made a noise. And I grew up on SpongeBob. So I think when writing this, I was like, what if I put someone there? And that's what it looks like to me if it were staged as like a blank white space or just like a big white spotlight that's almost like blinding. And I feel like Leo and I talked a lot about the void, and it was like basically like the void is kind of a different place for everybody depending on who the character is. But I think most about what the void is to Jamie. And I mean, I see the play as like Jamie's journey of healing. And it's this way for her to kind of like speak about the stuff that she never, she didn't have a mom to talk to about this stuff. So she never got to say it to someone. So I guess it's more like she's saying it to whoever will listen, to herself. You don't know if anybody's there. I kind of like to leave it up to the audience as well, so I'm not going to fully explain. But it's a different space for everybody who goes there, and it's very much like a mental space, but it can also be physical. We talked about this a lot with the actors, like determining like what was your void, where are you, who are you talking to with your void. And it's very much a place where there's everything and nothing at all. And I think I'll leave it at that.
All right, cool. All right. That's it. Before we get to Lisa's second question, any questions in the space or in the virtual? We have one in the virtual space.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm expecting that one. It's not a question, but Zoe standing in Sapples wanted to say hi, Rachel. I love you.
Oh my God, it's so
Zoe!
it's so late there.
Zoe, thank you for staying up. I love you. Zoe was also in the same class as Jeremy and I. Thank you, Zoe. I love you. Zoe is in England right now, so it is me.
Yeah, Zeus. Yeah, Heather.
Can I ask how other people picture the void?
You may.
Because I saw like action and I saw reaction as you stepped in, and it was different for everybody. I'm interested to hear what your own takes are.
I'll start and then I want to pass it off to the actors.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we worked a lot on the voice, and we talked about them together, we worked on them individually with the actors, and I think we didn't focus so much on like what is the void from a story perspective, because I think one thing about the void is just there's a lot of mystery to it, and so for this short rehearsal period, I didn't want to tear that apart too much, so we just really focused on, like Rachel was saying, what is my void, what is my void, and mostly what I think we talked about is that we came kind of to this agreement that the void is this place where you wake up and you don't really know where you are, but then you're taking in your surroundings and you have something prepared that this is what you say in this space, and what that space is exactly is different for each actor. You guys have anything you want to say about your void scenes?
Mine was definitely, we had decided it was like the Teacher of the Year award that our teacher Sarah was receiving. For me, it was just kind of like, I think Sarah keeps her past in a box, and it sort of falls out when Lola is kidnapped, and it's always in her life because of Lola, but it kind of slams on her, and like she just has a complete like on that for a moment, but it's not real. She doesn't actually like that sort of fall back. It's a little moment of like.
Yeah, so mine I struggled with a little bit at first. But I think what I ended up doing was kind of like imagining Anne like on one of her trips, when she's away from Jaime and Lola. And I think I was kind of envisioning like her talking to a group of people, like, you know, in this like random house somewhere. And I don't think that she really knows these people super well. But yeah, I think that I was just like pictured Anne as speaking to a group of people while she was away. But yeah.
Because yours is interesting, it happens before we hear, right, before your monologue about the character. Before, what's the guy's name? Yeah, before Jackson's monologue, where we really know about your character, your voice happens, so it's interesting. Think about it after you hear somebody else's perspective on it.
Yeah, and also I just want to add, mine felt very like conversational, which I mean the others did as well, but I think like for me, mine felt especially conversational, which I think is who Anne is. And like while I pictured this group of people as like Anne not being super familiar with them, I think that Anne is kind of this like outgoing person who is gonna, you know, she's very open. That's debatable, but she is open, I think. And I think that's why it was so conversational. But yeah, that's
Mine was just Lola's written to be very comfortable in her voice. So I think we discussed just talking to her stuffed animals. She's just talking. Sometimes children just talk. So I kind of just had to be that she's, you know, there's someone that is listening to her and she's taking advantage of that.
My board just kind of felt like an open space where I could just talk. I think like it's in a sense kind of word vomit, but I also think everything that Jamie says is very deliberate, whether or not she kind of realizes it, because it's a bunch of stuff that she needs to say and she needs to get out and has literally never been able to tell anyone, because the only consistent person in her life is like a 6-year-old child. So yeah.
Yeah, that is like different from the scenes because like you know, like you see kind of like my relationships with the characters and the voice, like really get a long explanation of who these people are and to me and stuff like that.
I didn't have too much to do with the voice.
Set it up.
Hey guys, this is the point of most of the time I just pitched. But
Maybe
you
you
know,
could speak to your experience of, so I was very engaged by the way that we were sharing the stage directions, aka the like the bones of the thing, right? And in some respects, something that I responded to is I felt like these readings are strange, right? Because we don't have all the tracking. So a lot comes up in the stage directions, and Rachel writes stage directions. And there's personality in them, but something that I was receiving from you is given sort of a lot of the harshness of some of the material, and given that there are children present, I always felt like you were caring for Lola and Jaime, like in the way that you were sharing the stage directions. That was like my experience of things. So like, yes, you are valid. But can you talk a little bit, now that I've embarrassed you, can you talk a little bit about like what kind of energy you were bringing to the stage directions and how you were kind of envisioning yourself as being like this body and voice for this like for the thing.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I don't know. It just sort of like Leo gave me a lot of direction with that lecture. He was like, you know, add some personality into it and all that, which is very good. It's like it's interesting because I think the stage directions that Rachel wrote get much more personable in the void ones right before, like especially like Jackson's own. I had so much fun saying. But it's interesting, you know. It definitely lends itself to the text. It's clear that it's not, you know, something that usually would be presented, but it definitely, I think, helps to deepen. And I think the personality was already there. Honestly, I didn't have to do much. The personality was there. You're right, did that for me. Yeah, and I think also the void, in my opinion, there was a little outsider opinion more. I thought it was like the space that the penguins lived in. Like space. Like I was like, oh, this is space. And everybody's coming to space, and this is a little bit of Lola's imagination, a little bit more. That was my sort of very different
This
take.
is why I never like to say what it is, because I like to hear what people have to say.
Because I wasn't fully involved in like the void rehearsals because I was sitting down for them. So my separate thing from that is that I thought it was space and more of Lola's imagination of the space that Jackson is in.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for your question. I'm going to skip ahead to question 3, and then we'll think back to question 2 and invite everyone to come in with their own thoughts. But I do think it's something that it's important that we do sort of give some time, some energy to is this question of Claire from Lisa. Lisa writes, this play deals with very serious issues, cycles of abuse and violence, addiction, etc. But what Lisa connects to is how Rachel used centered love and forgiveness as opposed to trying to fix something. In Lisa's words, this play becomes a meditation on letting go as a form of love. So would you, Rachel, kind of take that in and speak a little bit about those thoughts that Lisa shared, and just sort of, why you were drawn to writing a play about these things and how you kind of work to change that centering focus to love and forgiveness as opposed to trying to fix.
Well, I think there's always I think of in I guess intimate relationships where people are like, oh, this person's messed up and I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna fix them, which never works. And so I was thinking about a relationship like that, but more with in a family setting, and I see this play as kind of Jamie's story of healing, and it also about getting help. You can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped, and I think Anne was someone who knew that she had to be helped, but she didn't want to be helped by anyone around her, and so part of Jamie's story of healing was, even though it wasn't necessarily Anne's intention, Anne very much did blow up Jamie and Lola's life. And so part of that, as hard as it was letting Anne go and making, acknowledging this is someone that I care about very much, and this is someone that I want to help, but there's only so much that I can do. And if she wants to leave, she's going to leave, and there's nothing that I can do about it, and it might even benefit my life if she leaves and does it on her own. And I think it's an open ending in a way, so it's kind of left ambiguous. But I mean, these characters have a life of their own at this point. But I like to imagine that Anne does get help. I'm an optimist. I always like to think that about every story, and then it's probably not the case. So, this is a hard question. I think that it's more of an effective story if it's centered around healing and love and letting go than trying to fix something, because I don't think that it would have been as productive for the themes if it was just oh, we have to fix her, there's something wrong with her. It's also just the way that people look at mental illness and addiction, because it's not necessarily healing it, but it's making it better or making it easier to tolerate. And that's what I think about personally. It's not this is not the kind of thing that's just oh, we're gonna fix it, check mark, done, because it's not that.
Thank you for answering that very cool question. I'll open it up to anyone else who wants to bring in just your experience of working, for instance, for the last 10 days or so in this space, how you received the work, kind of thoughts and experiences that you've had, playing off of this idea of a healing here. I feel like us talking about this would be sort of a closure practice for that bonus. So if anyone wants to come in.
To me, Lola is such a big part of that, because for Jamie, you know, Lola, I mean, in a lot of ways, Lola is just a huge burden in her life because she's a 17-year-old who has to take over the role of a mother, dealing with being a 17-year-old, and then not having being the sole provider for their household, but Lola is such a, I mean, she's a normal 6-year-old kid, really, but she's just by virtue of being that she's just such a beacon of hope and joy. And I really think that's what helps Jamie just believe that things can be okay and that things can get better. She can't let Lola lose that joy and that that she has.
I don't think that kid saves Sarah. That's the whole reason that she got better. So I agree with you that Lola's a huge part of it, but I think that kids in general are such a huge, I feel like that's an archetype in stories like this. And I think that kids have this weird, strange line to them. And it's something that can't be replicated. It's something that you can't find anywhere else but with the hopeful kid. And I want to believe that that's why Sarah got better. That's how she was fixed, was realizing she wanted to be more like these kids.
I can speak for Anne's perspective. I just think that for Anne specifically, she talks a lot about independence, which is really interesting because when I look at her, I don't see an independent person. But she obviously, it is important to her, I think, to feel independent, and I think that kind of adds to her not wanting to accept help from other people. But I think also just speaking to the love and help versus fixing someone. I don't think that you can really fix someone. I think that you can help someone, but I don't think that you as an outside person can put someone together and fix them. And so obviously in the end we see Anne leaving and she comes to this realization of the fact that she does need to fix herself and go get help, and also that she loves her children enough to leave them and not continue to be a burden to Jamie and go get help. So
I was just gonna say, I thought this was really big. The songs in this show is definitely, I felt every single one was every single one resulted in a temporary fix. Every time You Are My Sunshine is it's oh, just make Lola feel better. And the landslide scene is so heartfelt between them. Very good. I love that scene every time. But it's a temporary little moment of happiness until Anne sings it by herself, and it's oh, she's leaving. So I think, yeah, definitely the song's just nice. I don't have anything special to say. But after what's already been said, I agree with what everyone's already said.
Yes.
Well put.
Yeah, that's
That
We're at the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those of you who are sticking around, yeah.
Yeah, this is a casting question. In the hypothetical universe that this show leaves the Sarah Lawrence verse,
It's never been done. They said it's not possible.
would you make the decision to cast Lola as an adult, or would you go out and find a child? I think it was very impactful to have an adult woman play a 6-year-old.
What does it say? Text.
Well, the text says that, it doesn't say whether it has to be an adult or a child.
is. And while initially I would have thought that maybe I would like a 6-year-old, I also think this is a lot to ask for a 6-year-old, and it's different to like in a movie than it is like in a like staged production. So I also think about like To Kill a Mockingbird and how
That's why I asked.
yeah, Scout was played
40-year-old woman.
by a 40-year-old woman, but it's still very effective. I think that maybe I honestly don't know. I can't answer that question. I'm trying to lean towards what would be more believable, and I guess I would be a child, but I think if there was a power to someone our age playing a child, and like, you did it very well. So, and I think it's almost more impactful if it's someone older.
I think I agree with you, and my initial impulse was also realism, but you're right, it is a more complicated question. I mean, I think Sarah does a fantastic job with Lola, and I do, like we were talking about earlier, I mean, it's not, the thing is too, it's not Lola's story, I think, at the end of the day, it's Jaime's story. And so in a way, it's also about a 17-year-old's, the impact that a 6-year-old has on a 17-year-old. So I would wonder whether a 6-year-old would be able to understand that enough. But on the other hand, I think it's really just, I think you would want it. It's all about casting. I think the perfect 6-year-old would come along, and I think that would be really, really effective.
All right, that was a great question. Heather?
It's interesting that you say it's a story about Jaime. Do you agree?
Not fully. Well, I do think it is Jaime's, like, there are very many times when it's Jaime's story to tell. I think that each time that someone comes in the void, it is very much their story. And they kind of take this story and they're like, oh, this is my story now because I'm telling it. And I see it very much as like an ensemble piece. So it's, in some ways it's Jaime's story, and I think that that guides a lot of the structure of it, which we'll get to, but in some ways it also isn't. What is your opinion?
No, it's interesting, because you could just as easily be against it, right? I mean, actually, one of the things that I thought I would ask also Jaime is, who are your people? In the void, at the end, you talk all about your people, but who are they? That's the first time I heard about anybody outside of, like, even when there's a knock on the door, it just says it's friends, it's actually their role. Like, is that intentional?
Well, I think her people are Lola and Jackson. That's who is in her life. She doesn't have time for friends.
Gotcha, okay.
She says friends is basically like, oh, like, you know, Lola will believe that there's friends because Lola can believe anything, but if it were an adult, it's like, oh, I have a friend over, like, her aunt, and like, what friends? Like, yeah,
right.
She doesn't have time for friends, she has nobody else. And so, I don't know, that's what I think personally. Those are the people that she leans on, and maybe it's not always healthy to only have 2 people, one of the baby 6-year-old, to lean on, but
No,
she's trying, yeah.
I'm gonna.
You agree?
I agree. That's,
And when you say your people, that's who you're.
that's who, I mean, that's who I'm referencing. I mean, I assume she has a couple friends at school, but I don't think it really goes anywhere past that. You know, we
Right.
all have our school friends that we talk to in class, but I don't think anyone that necessarily knows what's going on really.
I'm gonna share this last question from Lisa, and we'll hear, since the Greg pointed it at Rachel, we'll hear from the playwright last, and then we'll wrap up for the evening. So, Lisa writes, I love how time is non-linear in this play. That you receive important information right away, but then there's a slow release valve of pressure leading up to putting the rest of the pieces together. Even the metaphors in the play function this way. For example, the butterfly moment. We see how releasing something is an active flow toward the end of the play. This is very effective, and Lisa is curious how you discover the way time came and should function in your writing process.
Well, I am someone who really likes non-linear plays. And I've written linear plays, but I also find I find the cool thing about playwriting is you get to play with time and like manipulate time in ways that you wouldn't be able to do it in other art forms. And so this was the first time that I sat down and I was like, what if everything didn't take place at the same time? And I think part of this is because I think that healing and grieving is non-linear, and this is very much like Jamie's way of healing. And I almost think of it as Jamie's thought process as if like, if she were to explain this story, it wouldn't be linear because she'd be like, oh, my sister got kidnapped. Oh, but before that, let me tell you what my mom was like. And before that, oh wait, I have a passion in music. Let's have a music section here. And like, oh wait, and then there was this other person. And then there was this one time and this happened. And so I think that when you heal from something like this, or when you're grieving the loss of someone, it's non-linear at all. One day you're great, one day you're not, one day you're just in between, and it comes in waves. And so I think that I wanted the structure of the play to kind of mimic that. And I think that it's more impactful if you don't know everything at once. I kind of like to confuse the audience and be like, oh, what is going on? And I think it was entertaining, especially when writing it, because when I started writing it, I had the first scene and that was it, because I wrote the first scene like my freshman year. And I was like, how do I go from here in a way that is entertaining and not basic? And I'm not saying that linear plays are basic, because linear plays are great, but I was like, how do I?
You're here, folks. First, Rachel Saruski says linear plays are basic.
But I just wanted it to be like a journey through time and healing in a way that showed realistically what healing in a situation like this can be like. That was what.
Cool. All right, I think that's a great place to end up. Thank you for our stalwart crew that hung out. Thank you to the cast for sharing your work with us this evening and for sticking around. Thanks, Leo. Thank you to Rachel. Thank you to those of us joining us in the wires. And Zoe, I certainly haven't gone to sleep by now.
I hope so as well.
Megan, is Zoe still on there?
I can't tell. I hope she's not.
All right, we'll be back for the final installment of the reading series. A very exciting piece called "If You Walked Down the Jetty with Me" by Kate Leary. It's like movement and text. It's going to be very exciting. That'll be 2 weeks from today. Until then, thank you again for your work.